Kai Havertz boost for title push. He will be ready for Liverpool game. Arsenal vs Liverpool. Kai Havertz is expected to be available for Arsenal's clash against Liverpool on Thursday, January 8, 2026. He was left out of the squad for the recent match against Bournemouth due to load management, not a new injury setback. Kai Havertz, expected to be in the squad, possibly making his first appearance since the opening game of the season in August due to a knee injury and the subsequent setback in his recovery. Manager Mikel Arteta is managing the fitness of his players carefully during a busy fixture period. The team will need a strong performance at the Emirates Stadium to extend their lead in the Premier League title race. For Bournemouth, the night ended in frustration after another encouraging performance went unrewarded. Arsenal claimed a 3-2 win over Bournemouth to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table. Although the result was significant, some of the attention after the match centered on Kai Havertz and his absence. The German midfielder was excluded from the squad, raising concerns among many Arsenal supporters. Havertz had only just returned to the squad list in the previous league match against Aston Villa. That appearance marked his comeback after a knee injury picked up on the opening day of the season. His return against Villa was seen as a positive sign, especially with the season entering a busy period. Many fans expected him to be involved, making his omission against Bournemouth a surprise. According to Sky Sports, Arsenal's decision to leave Havertz out was planned and not linked to any fresh problem. The club chose to manage his workload carefully to avoid any risk of a setback. There was no injury concern for the midfielder, easing fears among supporters after the team news. Havertz had spent several months on the sidelines, recovering from his knee problem. That absence kept him out of early season action and disrupted his rhythm. The club's approach suggests a long-term view, rather than short-term risk. With many games still to come, Arsenal appear focused on keeping key players fit. Havertz's availability will be important as Arsenal moves into the second half of the campaign. The team remains in contention for major trophies across competitions this season. Squad depth has already proven valuable, especially with strong rivals close behind in the league. Manchester City continue to apply pressure, making consistency vital. The German's return adds another option for Arsenal as the fixtures become more intense. Managing his minutes now could help maintain his fitness later in the season. Arsenal's win over on Donny Iraola's side ensured they reached 48 points from 20 league matches. That total keeps them firmly at the top of the Premier League standings. Bournemouth to Arsenal 3. Rice double sends Gunners clear after Gabriel's uncharacteristic gift. Arsenal came from behind to beat Bournemouth 3-2 on the South Coast on Saturday evening, extending their lead at the top of the Premier League to 6 points. The result ensured the leaders took full advantage of playing before Manchester City, who have the chance to respond when they are in action on Sunday. Arsenal's evening began in the worst possible fashion when Gabriel Magalhaes gifted Bournemouth the opening goal with a careless pass across his own area. The error allowed Evanilson to intercept and calmly roll the ball into the net, punishing a rare lapse from a usually reliable defender. The setback unsettled Arsenal and Bournemouth sensed an opportunity, pressing aggressively and asking questions of David Raya in the early stages. Arsenal responded through Gabriel himself, who made amends by finishing from close range that Gabriel Martinelli's effort had been blocked. The equaliser settled the visitors, but the contest remained fractious, with heavy challenges and several flashpoints adding to the tension. Mikel Arteta's side were far sharper after the interval and began to impose greater control through midfield. Their turnaround was completed when Declan Rice, returning from injury, swept a low finish past the goalkeeper from the edge of the area following a neat move involving Martin Odegaard. Rice was at the heart of everything and doubled his tally soon after, arriving late in the box to convert Bukayo. Saka's cutback of Pova, the winger, had been introduced from the bench. At that stage Arsenal appeared to be in control, having turned a difficult evening into a commanding position. Bournemouth refused to fade quietly and were given renewed belief when substitute Eli Junior Krupi unleashed a fine strike from distance to reduce the deficit. The closing stages were tense, with the hosts pushing bodies forward and Arsenal forced into a series of clearances to protect their lead. Despite the pressure, Arsenal held firm to secure a fifth consecutive league win. The victory moved them 6 points clear of second-placed Aston Villa, who had briefly cut the gap earlier in the day. It also placed further pressure on Manchester City, who now need a win in their upcoming fixture to prevent the leaders from pulling further clear.